Hey guys, welcome to our fourth episode of Tying with Nayat. And now we start to tie Nayat streamers. You can tie Nayat streamers like this one, in small or big. This one is a pike streamer and is tied like you would tie synthetic fibers. Different though is Nayat takes a little bit of water compared to synthetic fibers, and therefore it gets a bit heavier. So this one I would probably cast with a 9-weight, 8-weight, 9-weight rod. Therefore I prefer, when I tie streamers like that from Nayat, like fiber streamers, to tie smaller streamers, and that's what we're going to do today. So we tie a Tiger Nayat streamer with a fiber style tying method, and we use Nayat and tie it on a small gamakatsu hook. This is I think it's a 1/0 hook, so it will be good for from perch or sea bass or any small predator fish. And when I do tie these fiber streamers, in this case with Nayat, I like to use a monofold thread, because at the end, when we look at that, we have our winding here, and then if you do it with a monofold thread and put some super glue on top of it, it gets transparent, and you can kind of hide the thread right by doing that. So just get a little bit on the base. You don't want to move it around, so just secure it with a little bit of super glue, and then we take our Nayat and take just a little bit like that. And what you have to do with the tail is you brush out the underfur. And what we do then, because this is of course, as you see, way too long, we pull out the longest fibers and we align the tips and pull it again and align the tips again, like that. And then we can just cut this bit off like that. Use it for the belly later. What you do then, you can taper this a bit and just tie it in with the tail. I like to tie it in like that, so you have a small tip pointing above the hook shank, which is kind of a base for the material, and keeps the prevents the material from taking, which is like just catching the hook is catching the fibers. So it's supporting the tail a bit, and that's why we tie it in like that. Just trap the fibers like that. I like to have a little bit of flesh in my tail, not too much. Like that. Just catch it. And back it. Easy like that. So we have the leftovers from long hair, so we just align the fibers a bit, taper it a bit in this way. As for the belly section, so we just put it on here 50-50. You can't really say what length you put it in, it just differs from the length of the Nayat hair. Here it works quite good, and it's also not really important the tapering, like 50-50 or 60-40. It's not really important because you have to cut it later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we take some green Nayat for the top. Just brush it out a bit. Make sure you're not using too much of it, because as I said before, it takes a little bit of water. Less material makes the fly nicer to handle. So So we align the tips a bit again, like that, and then we measure it a bit. I would love to have it like that. Just tie it down, and then we can fold the remaining Nayat hairs back and catch it with the thread. 2 wraps, turn the hook. Spread the fibers or the hairs a little bit with the thumb, so you're hiding the shank of the hook. Yeah, you can't put too much pressure, of course, on the monofold thread, otherwise it will break. But it is really worth tying with it because the finish later on. So now we take a little bit more green and yellow on the bottom, and then we do, so it's I think 2 more steps green, 1 yellow, and then 1 orange for the gills on the belly side. So we cut a piece of Nayat again, a little bit bigger, and move the underfur a bit. Pull the tips out, always do that, align them, and now I have clumps like that, and that should be enough to put it on here. And you can use a little bit more if you want. It's a bit too long now, of course, so we need that length. And we need a little bit more of the chartreuse. And also here we don't need much, just a few hairs, because they're so super long. So we just cut it. Because they are so super long, you can just cut them in half again and use it like that. So just taper it a bit to mix the little bit longer, stiffer fibers a little bit with the remaining shorter ones from the underfur. I think it's even too long, so cut it a bit like that. And then just tighten it. Like that. Brush it out a bit. Just needs a little bit of cutting later, and then we get a nice shape of a baitfish. That's it. So for the last bit, I will leave a little bit in of the underfur, just to get it a little bit more volume, especially on the belly section. So we just take a clumps of orange like that. Give it 1, 2, 3 brushes until the fibers are loose and from each other and straight. And then we cut it. And here we don't take all the underfur out, so you just grab it a little bit closer to the edge and just remove a bit. Just so you have a little bit of volume in it. And cut it in half. So we have a length like that. It really depends on the size of the fly, but here it's just too long. I just taper it a bit, and you see it's a little bit more bulky because we left the underfur in, which means it also takes a little bit more water, so the fly will get a little bit heavier in the front section. Of course not underwater, because underwater weight of water is equal, but it's just when you cast it. So you just lay it around. 2 loose wraps, not too tight, turn the fly, catch the fibers, 2 loose wraps, check if everything looks fine. Everything looks fine. Make a few good wraps. You can put a little bit of pressure on it. I think this one is an 0.2mm monofil thread. Sometimes I'm using the 0.1 thread as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but also nicer. And then we just cover it in super glue, and then it should get a little bit see-through. If there's some super glue left in the bottle, we'll see. Like that, bottle is nearly empty, have to get a new one. Well, can brush it now. And now we have to do the cutting, so what you do is you just cut it a little bit into position, just from the hook eye, so not against the fibers, just to get it roughly. And I like to just pull the fibers out like that, and then just give it one clean cut all the way like that, and then we can just cut from the hook shank, from the hook eye, just around it, so we have no edges left. Nice fire tiger pattern, which of course needs some ice. Just get my dubbing needle, put some glue on it, get one eye. Place it on top, more glue. Second eye. That. Place it on top, and you can use your Nayat pulp in the back of it to clean your dubbing needle. Just really big 3D eyes, and have a little bit of weight, give the fly a little bit of jigging effect. And when you attach the eye, you can see the proportion of your head, and if you see that, you might want to do a little bit more cutting, so like that, for example. Just taper the body around the eyes. And then you get a finished Nayat fly. You just need some stripes from the fire tiger, but that we do in a different episode.